Don't be fooled by the appearance of Russia's latest stealth fighter jet. This empty seat in the back of the Su-57D's cockpit wasn't made for a backup pilot, but to control something far more terrifying. Part 1: Curiosity Gap and Intro. Recently, a prototype of the latest variant of Russia's stealth fighter jet, the Su-57D, successfully completed its maiden flight. Piloted by a senior Sukhoi test pilot, official reports stated that all systems performed exactly as planned. To the untrained eye, this might just look like an ordinary trainer aircraft. However, for global military analysts, the presence of a second seat on the Su-57D is an alarm signaling the start of a radical shift in aerial warfare doctrine. Why is Russia investing so heavily in altering the internal architecture of their stealth jet? What is actually being hidden in that back seat? Today, we will conduct an in-depth analysis of the technology, technical challenges, and geopolitical shifts behind the Su-57D project. Part 2: Storytelling. The evolution of the Su-57's role. To understand why the Su-57D was born, we must look at how the role of fighter jets has changed over the past decade. In the past, fighter jets were designed for one primary purpose: air superiority through speed, agility, and dogfighting capabilities. The fighter jet was a lone executor. However, the modern battlefield of 2026 is no longer friendly to a lone executor. Increasingly smart integrated air defense systems and hypersonic missiles make a fighter jet flying alone a vulnerable target. Russia realized that the Su-57 could no longer just be a conventional fighter. Through the Su-57D variant, this aircraft has evolved to fulfill four crucial roles simultaneously: an airborne command center, a drone controller, a battle manager, and a command and control aircraft. This means the aircraft is no longer just a weapon platform, but the brain of a distributed air combat network. Russia is being forced to follow, or perhaps even lead, this new trend in network-centric warfare. Part 3: Simple Explanation and Data. The concept of Manned-Unmanned Teaming, MUNT. Let's simplify this concept through the biggest technological theme of this decade: Manned-Unmanned Teaming, or MUNT for short. What is MUNT? Simply put, it is the tactical cooperation between manned aircraft and a force of robots or drones on the battlefield. Imagine this scenario: penetrating enemy airspace heavily guarded by radar is an incredibly dangerous mission. If you send a manned fighter jet, the risk of losing the pilot is extremely high. This is where MUNT comes in. In Russian doctrine, the Su-57D will act as the queen, while UCAV drones like the S-70 Okhotnik B act as the pawns or loyal wingmen. The Okhotnik B drone is designed with stealth characteristics, capable of carrying heavy payloads and flying far ahead of the manned jet. Why do you need two seats to do this? Let's calculate a pilot's workload. The first pilot in the front seat has an incredibly intensive task: flying the aircraft, evading enemy radar, monitoring fuel, and executing defensive maneuvers. It is virtually impossible for that same person to also control 3 combat drones, analyze sensor data from those drones, coordinate electronic warfare, and fire long-range missiles simultaneously. The cognitive load is simply too high. Therefore, the division of labor on the Su-57D is crystal clear. First pilot, front seat, full focus on navigation and aircraft safety. Second pilot, back seat, acts as the battle manager, controlling the drone fleet, coordinating attacks, and navigating the electromagnetic spectrum. Part 4: Mid-retention spike. The daunting technical challenges. However, adding a second seat does not come cheap. From an aerospace engineering perspective, this is a nightmare for Sukhoi's engineers. Why? Because every single millimeter of space inside a 5th-generation jet is incredibly precious. Let's dissect the 4 main technical challenges Russia had to solve on the Su-57D. Stealth capability. Adding a second seat means changing the shape of the cockpit canopy, making it longer and taller. This geometric alteration risks increasing the radar cross-section, RCS, making the aircraft more visible on enemy radar. Engineers had to redesign the radar-absorbent coating and canopy angles to ensure it remains stealthy. Aircraft weight. The extra ejection seat, life support system, dual instrumentation, and additional shielding add hundreds of kilograms of dead weight to the aircraft. Avionics and computing space. Controlling a fleet of drones requires incredibly powerful artificial intelligence, AI, computers and high-speed data link communication antennas. Space originally utilized for other components now has to be sacrificed for a new avionics compartment. Fuel capacity. This is the biggest drawback. The space taken up by the second seat directly cuts into the volume of the internal fuel tank. Based on analytical estimates, the twin-seat variant could lose about 10 to 15% of its operational range compared to the single-seat variant, unless the efficiency of the latest Saturn AL-51 engine can offset it. Part 5. Comparative Analysis. China's J-20S versus Russia's Su-57D. Russia is not alone in this race. In fact, China beat them to the punch by unveiling the J-20S, the two-seat variant of their J-20 Mighty Dragon stealth fighter jet. This shows a global consensus among superpowers that the future of aerial combat can no longer be handled by a single pilot. How do we compare the two? China's J-20S benefits from their highly advanced domestic electronics and AI ecosystem, allowing for more instantaneous integration of loyal wingman data via high-bandwidth data link. On the other hand, Russia's Su-57D brings the advantage of Sukhoi's legacy: extreme agility, supermaneuverability, and unique integration with a 20-ton drone like the Okhotnik B, which is much larger than Western or Chinese loyal wingman concept. Both nations have officially entered the era of next-generation air combat. Their focus has shifted from mere airspeed competition to AI-driven combat, autonomous drone operations, network warfare, and distributed combat, where weapons are no longer fired from your own aircraft, but from the drones you control on the front lines. Part 6. Business Aspects and Export Strategy. Aside from tactical needs on the battlefield, there is another equally important motive behind the Su-57D project: Russia's business aspects and global export strategy. The United Aircraft Corporation, UAC, has openly stated that this two-seat version is designed to boost the Su-57's export opportunities in the international market. Why is the international market so keen on a twin-seat variant? For many developing nations or regional powers, purchasing a fifth-generation jet is a highly expensive and high-risk investment. They need a flexible platform. The Su-57D offers three value propositions at once for international buyers. As an advanced trainer aircraft to train local pilots to master stealth jets, as a command aircraft for squadron commanders to lead combat formations, as an out-of-the-box drone controller that provides future technological capabilities without the need to build infrastructure from scratch. This move could potentially restore Russia's position as a major player in the global military aviation market amidst Western economic sanctions. Part 7. Conclusion: Impact on future warfare. In conclusion, the maiden flight of the Su-57D is not just a technical milestone for Sukhoi. It is a tangible manifestation of a 21st century air combat paradigm shift. Russia, along with China, has deliberately chosen to sacrifice conventional physical parameters to gain an upper hand in information processing and AI-driven tactical control. The second seat in the Su-57D proves one thing. In the future, the best pilots won't be those who are most skilled at aerial maneuvers, but those who are smartest at managing information and leading robotic forces above the clouds. Part 8. Closing and retention spike. However, this Russian MUMT tactic triggers a much larger and more alarming question for the Pentagon. If Russia uses the Su-57D to control a drone of the Okhotnik B class, which is capable of carrying tactical nuclear bombs, how will the United States respond? especially considering that, to date, they have not launched a two-seat variant for either their F-22 or F-35. Is the United States falling behind in this stealth drone warfare doctrine, or do they have a secret project that is far more lethal? The answer lies in the United States' next-generation air dominance, or NGAD strategy, which is intentionally kept secret from the public. We will break down that classified American technology in the next video appearing on your screen right now. Click here to watch and see you in the next analysis.